Good morning, Solid Steppers. What's up, Tech the Titans 2.0? This is Miss Ward coming to you. I want to have a conversation this morning regarding crack foundations. I've been doing a lot of coaching sessions lately, and one of the issues and challenges that we're running into is um, foundational issues that a lot of people are discovering in their business. So I just want to kind of go over a couple of my notes, and I want to share this with the public because hopefully this can help somebody. So the title of today's video is Crack Foundations, the shocking reason your appliance repair business is struggling. So let's start at the beginning. How did you start the business? Now, a lot of us got into appliance repair. It was our first business, or it was another attempt after other failed businesses. It's no shame in that because being an entrepreneur, you learn how to fail fast and fail forward. So let's reflect on how did you start the business? Did you take any shortcuts? Or were there things you put in place that you meant to adjust but you never did? Just take a moment and think about that and just slow down. You can pause the video and just make a list of a few things that come to mind. We're going to come back to that. And let's talk about what was the original plan. A lot of times when I'm coaching clients, we have to go and unravel the question why. Why did I get into the business? Was this something I was going to do part time to supplement my income? Was this hopefully going to be something that I was going to eventually replace my original income with? Everybody has a plan. So let's go back and look at those plans. The reason why you want to review is because a lot of times when you get into the business, you are overwhelmed and you skip steps or you do what you know how to do. And we all know that when we know better, we do better. So we're going to go to the next one. Always realize that there is no shame in how you started. The key is where are you going and what are you going to do now? What lessons have you learned? Reflect on the lessons. What have you learned, earned, and lost? And a lot of times I sit down with clients and I'm like, okay, just take a moment. Because a lot of times, by the time I get the call, if they don't come to me in the beginning or when they first start or first start getting frustrated, they come to me to get organized, cleaned up, and get back on track. And I don't mind, as long as they're willing to put in the work, I'm willing to assist. So let's just take a moment. What lessons have you learned in this process? Have you learned about warranty? Have you learned the ins and outs of what you need to do to maintain that good relationship? Have you learned how to study the algorithm of warranty? Have you learned how to deal with COD clients? Have you transitioned out of warranty and gotten into COD clients, or did you start with COD clients? Have you into issues with leads and things of that nature? I mean, what are the challenges that you're having? I always try to explain to my clients the first thing you want to do is document where your money comes from, where are your largest challenges, and attack them one at a time. But first, you have to sit down long enough to understand where your issues are. A lot of times we get into business, we get overwhelmed, and we just get frustrated, stop, give up, and walk away. What you want to do as a mature business professional is see where my weak points are. Prime example. How many recalls are you having? Are you the problem? Are you not gathering enough information? Number one, are you not doing your triage or, sitting down, diagnosing the issue, looking at technical service bulletins? Do you have the resources? Are you trained properly? What I see a lot of times is as a new business owner, particularly if you don't have the background. Let's just own the fact that a lot of people get into business and they don't have the background. What they have is YouTube University and they think that's going to get them by. The reality is you have to invest in your training. It's something that I speak all the time. When you start making the money, you need to put the money back in the business. And if you are a one-man show, you want to take the time and invest in your training. I don't care if you go to Master Samurai, ABC, Dyer and Dyer, Fred's Academy, Votech School, you're going to have to work on your skills. I'll sit back and I watch a lot of people go into groups and ask for ask for answers, and they haven't done the legwork. And I'm not knocking anybody because I was that way at one time, but I made up my mind that I not only wanted to be good, but I wanted to be independent. And I didn't want to be the slowest guy in the room. So I took the time that I spent many nights up late working through schematics, working through diagnostics, working through recalls, working through issues, working through misdiagnoses, diagnostics, and fixing what I messed up. Really, a lot of times that's the only way you learn. But one of the main things I did was I developed relationships with other techs I could ride with who had been in the business for a while. And a lot of times now those guys are calling me. Doesn't mean I'm any better, but they know that I always have my finger on the pulse. I'm always training and I'm always trying to be better. I'm trying to outdo myself because I know that the beautiful thing about appliance repair, you never know everything, and there's always going to be a wall you're going to hit at some point. The key is, are you going to go through it, over it, learn from it? That's just like life. It's the same thing when it comes to managing the money in the business. And I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just saying being able to pay your vendors properly, to make sure that you have access to parts, keep your credit relationships in order, whether it's your gas cards, whether it's your vendors such as Marcone, Sunberg, B&V, Fox Appliance. You got different reliable. You have vendors all over the country, and I have accounts with many of them, but I had to develop those relationships. And you need that so that you can go out and get these jobs done and keep the money flowing. Appliance repair is a cash flow business, and that can be a positive or negative. The key is taking all those experiences and making them work for you. First, you must secure the foundation of your business. So go back and look at your business, look at where the holes are. Is it an inventory issue? Is it a training issue? Is it all the above? Is it transportation? Is it the quality of vehicle? Is it your routes? Is it the market you're trying to service? Is it the avatar or the customer that you have chosen to service? There's so many factors that are involved when you run an appliance repair business. And you not only need to do the research, but you need to be in groups that take you to the next level. There are several groups that we have, Facebook groups, Service Alliance group. You have and if you're in the SEAL systems, you got the SEAL system groups. There are so many groups, but the key is don't just go into groups and be a bump on the wall. Bring something to the table. Develop reciprocating relationships so that you can win, but hold yourself accountable and always be on top of your game. But you have to look at your foundation. So go back and get your numbers right, get your accounting right. People are like, well, how do I do this? I don't know. Well, the key is if you're going to run a business, you better learn the various aspects. Even if I give my books over to an accountant, I have an overview of what they do and how they do it so that I'm not taken advantage of. I never advise anybody to just sign up with somebody to do your leads or sign your SEO or sign up for somebody to do your paperwork and you don't know how to read a profit and loss statement. You don't understand financial statements. You don't understand your ticket average. You don't understand key performance indicators. You don't understand a SWOT analysis. It's okay not to know it when you get in, but after you've been in, it is your responsibility as a business owner to take full charge of your business and understand taxes, everything that's happening with it. I'm not saying you got to be an expert, but you need to know enough not to be taken advantage of. And in this day and age, with Google and all these other courses that teach you how to do the basics, from handling QuickBooks to basic bookkeeping on your own, general accounting, is really no excuse. Because the worst thing to do is to make a lot of money and then at the end of the year or the end of the week not to know where it went because you weren't paying your bills properly. You got hit in the back of the head with an expense you didn't see coming. This is why you hear us talk about the EMYTH. You always hear us talk about profit first. There are several books you can get and read, and a lot of those books are not only on audible.com, but they're actually on YouTube. Make a commitment to get your foundations in order so you can be successful. Slow down long enough to catch up. The other thing you always hear me preach is training. Training is the thing that separates the short term from the long term. A lot of people get into business, they run up a bag real quick, and next thing you know, they're broke and they don't know what to do, or they hit a slump or a slow period and they don't have resources. I can have these conversations because I've been there, and I work very hard not to stay there. I'm always ready for the pivot. And it's not that I'm better than anybody else. I'm just trying to learn from my lessons. Really kind of, to be honest with you, keep my mouth closed, because when my mouth closed, both ears are fully open and engaged, and so are my eyes, and I can learn. You know, Sometimes you got to be in these rooms. I think it's very important that you're in these rooms with these guys and girls that have been around a long time. You don't take everything they say, but you make sure you listen and you utilize the things that work for you. You don't have to agree with everybody to learn. Everybody can learn something from everybody. You just have to want to. Now, I'm going to give a couple of notes here about some technical training that I've been exposed to: business training, customer service training, and management training. These are some groups of people that I personally know or I've dealt with, and I feel pretty confident recommending them because I don't recommend everybody, and everybody learns differently. So I feel that with some of the people that I will present and recommendations, I feel pretty confident in recommending them. The goal is to be a well-rounded business professional, and that's the key. The beautiful thing about the trades and appliance repair, it can open the door to so many other opportunities. But it's up to you to design the business you want to have. And that starts by holding yourself accountable, being professional, and cleaning up whatever you need to clean up. We all struggle at some point. And if you're not struggling, keep living. You will be. So this is my little way of giving back. So what I want to do is share with you guys a couple of vendors that I use. The other thing I want to make sure that I'm stressing is you cannot shortchange yourself or your business. You got to put money back in the business. You got to want to win, and you got to hold yourself accountable. I'm not saying you can't splurge and spend some of your money, but what I'm trying to explain to you, invest in what feeds you. And your business is what's feeding you and paying your bills. And you must invest in order to grow and prepare for the future. Hey, I can't say it no better than that. And last but not least, please do all the things I said previously so you do not get left behind. I watch so many people get left behind and they are digging themselves out of holes. And I'm trying to tell you, stay on top of AI, stay on top of technology, stay on top of all the tools you need to be successful. Master where you are so you can master where you go. You, as an individual, as a business owner, you know exactly where your issues are. When are you going to woman up, man up, and handle it? You got to look in that mirror and hold yourself accountable. If that means you need to disappear for 6 months to a year, I'm a big proponent of that. Sometimes you got to go get out the spotlight to get you right. Because at the end of the day, you're responsible for you. Now, here are some resources that can help you grow and develop, and I'm going to share them with you, starting with technical training, self-paced, Appliance Bootcamp, Master Samurai Tech, and TMM Academics. Appliance Bootcamp is great for a person that wants to get in, learn the basics of appliance repair, but also structuring and developing the business. Mr. Sneed has an online course and he has a hands-on course. So I recommend, if you know like I know, you might want to get over there and get it now because the reality is everything doesn't last always. Then we have Master Samurai Tech, and that's very good because it has a great full program as far as core, meaning as a basic technician starting out. The core training course is very good, and you can build on that. And it's not a game. You really have to, like I'm telling you, when people take that course, I always advise them get a buddy or a partner and have a study group because it is I almost I'm about to say academic driven because the electrical portion and just really explaining how appliances work in theory and how to diagnose and all the structure is there. The other thing I recommend, of course, is my guys over at, and shout out to Scott Brown and Mrs. Brown and Baby Boy Brown over there. TMM Academics, I always recommend because it is a inexpensive way to, you can sign up for a subscription. Brandon and Richard, they do weekly Zoom calls and meetings to answer any question, but they also break down the appliance industry to the very basics. They also offer hands-on and live training, so I definitely recommend that. And one of the advantages about signing up for TMM Academics is you have access to the Voxer group. And the Voxer group is a great group of technicians that have a full outline to help you if you get stuck. From documents, if you need service manuals, technical service bulletins, they even have an emergency line. So and that's a volunteer situation. So please be respectful when you go over there, and please bring something to the table. Don't just take. That's one thing I see in this industry that bothers me to no end. I see a lot of people that come in and they try to extract, but they don't bring anything to the table. So be a contributor, not just a parasite and a leech. That is, boy, you want to get on my nerves. That's one of my pet peeves. But hey, who am I? I'm just keeping it real. Now, here are some of the subscriptions that I have. These are paid subscriptions. I have Service Matters, which of course is Whirlpool. That way, I'm independent. I can pull all my own stuff, and I have the latest technical information. MSA, which is through Marcone. Love them. Not only do they have the manuals, but they also have these phenomenal webinars that keep you up on your game on the latest technology. Those guys are really, really great. And then, of course, Appliantology, which is a part of the Master Samurai crew. When I first started, that was the main thing that I had. I had that in Service Matters, and I was winning. And then, of course, we have Electrolux Tips. That's a really inexpensive. And I think Service Matters is either 270. It's right around 300. I think it went up. MSA is like 199 for the annual. Matters is like 300 for the annual fee, and then Appliantology I think is 200. It might be 250 now for the annual fee. Electrolux Tips is, and this is at the time of this recording. This recording is 5/6/2024. You know how YouTube is; it'll be playing forever, and then people be beating me up in the comments. But anyway, Electrolux Tips is $14.99 a month. And then Service Alliance group is great because you get the all access membership. They also have a breakdown if you just want the tech sheets and the subscription for the service manuals too. They have like I think three different memberships. So check all that out. Um, Next thing is going to be tools of the trade. Now, when I say tools of the trade, this is not everything you need for appliance repair, but usually if you're watching this video, you probably already have an appliance repair business and you may have a lot of tools, but a lot of tools that people don't get that I don't understand. A lot of guys do not have the Smart HQ Pro. I'm just speechless. There's really no comment at this point because if you are in 2024 and beyond and you are not plugging the Smart HQ into the GE dishwashers or the refrigerators or the stoves, that have the port so that you can extract information and be a professional and pull out your phone or your tablet and look at all the codes and all the issues that have been happening with the unit. I don't know what you're doing because you're not doing appliance repair, in my opinion. Now, all dollies, I feel like you should invest in an all dolly because if you are working on, you know, stackables or double ovens and things like that, you need to have the proper tools so you don't damage the customer's appliance or home when you're doing the work. And it just makes you look more professional. And it's really your second man, so it pays for itself if you're charging accordingly. The next thing you should have is air sled. The air sled is a very important tool. The thing I love about the air sled is that you can move anything basically with it. I've used it to move thermidor, uh, ovens, and things like that. Refrigerators that wouldn't move. Laundry centers, things of that nature. So it definitely pays for itself. Now these items are a little pricey, but they pay for themselves. And that's why I'm bringing them to the table because, people to get a couple of tools, I watch people use all kind of stuff to put things on top of, and they have no idea what that looks like to the customer. But to each their own. But I strongly recommend it's something you do. Invest in those items. Um, as far as hands-on training, Appliance Boot Camp offers it. They have the weekend training. TMM Academics offers it. Go to their website. They're always updating hands-on training for everything in appliance repair from seal systems, R134, R600, um, basic appliance repair, laundry, kitchen, whatever you want. Then you have Fred's Appliance Academy that's been around for a while. Dyer's Appliance Repair Academy. Also, I've heard great things about those two. So that's some great hands-on. And of course, you can always look at your local uh, Votech schools and things of that nature. So I'm just kind of laying back and giving you guys some game because at the end of the day, I really want you to win. You know, at there are a couple of things that I didn't put on here, and I want to make sure I make an honorable mention. You should definitely have the Blue Book, the online Blue Book, because I think pricing is an issue, and those are some of the things that people miss. They're not pricing properly. And I feel like when you have that book, it gives you a guideline to go by for those who are not comfortable with pricing, but you should be pricing accordingly so that you can win. But as I stated earlier, these are some of the reasons that people are struggling, and these are a lot of the coaching calls I deal with. Now, if you need any more assistance, feel free to hit the link below and schedule a consultation. You'll see the link in the Calendly link. We cover everything from starting a appliance for business, getting structured properly, organizing your appliance repair business, and scaling your appliance repair business. I have coached people who have purchased appliance repair businesses. I've coached people who are hiring just subcontractors, and I've coached one-man shows. I coach people who do part-time appliance repair business. At the end of the day, you have to decide what you want to do and exactly what you want to get out of appliance repair. Appliance repair can change your life, but you got to have a system, you got to have a process, and you got to have a plan. Well, I want everybody to have a great evening. I just wanted to make sure that I made this video and shared this with you guys tonight. It's really been on my heart because I'm taking a lot of calls and I'm dealing with a lot of people. So hopefully this helps. Guys, have a great night and thank you for taking the time to watch. I really appreciate all my subscribers. I appreciate all my supporters. And thank you for your patience with me. And thank you for watching. Have a great night.